Hello again everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today we are exploring a very remarkable place. A place where the Romans were able to gain a very precious resource. Gold, at the Dolaucothi gold mines. Tucked away in the Welsh hills of Carmarthenshire, the Dolaucothi gold mines are the only confirmed Roman gold mines in Britain. And what they tell us is how far Rome was willing to go in pursuit of power and wealth. But why Wales? Well, when the Romans came to Britain, they didn't come purely to conquer, they came to exploit. And one of the things they were very keen to exploit was precious metals. Now we know that the Romans mined lead in Mendip, silver in northern England and also iron in the Forest of Dean. But gold, that was something special. It was something that had a monetary and symbolic value. It funded the empire, it gilded temples, and it was used on coins that bore the emperor's image. So at Dolaucothi, near the modern village of Pumsaint, the Romans found exactly what they were looking for, and they turned this patch of Wales into an industrial complex, complete with military support, advanced engineering, and continuous labour. The Romans likely took control of the area in the late 1st century AD, probably during their campaigns against the Silures of South Wales. They very quickly built themselves a fort, now known as Leontinum, which was specifically built to oversee and guard this vital Roman mining operation. This wasn't some haphazard dig. The Romans built long-lasting infrastructure. They surveyed the land, checked the quality of the ore, and, more importantly, they built the means to control water. It would seem that water was the most vital part of the whole operation. Roman engineers at Dolaucothi used several mining techniques, including some that were very advanced for the time. One of these was known as hushing, which was a form of large-scale water release. Now this is, as far as I know, how it works. The Romans built a network of aqueducts and reservoirs that were designed to collect water from higher ground. Then, when the Romans were ready, they would release all this water at once as a torrent down the hill. Now what this would do, it would strip away all the soil and vegetation and reveal all the rocks and the veins underneath that carried the gold. Once exposed, miners would use tools like picks and wedges in order to get the gold out of the rock. In some cases they would use a thing called fire setting, where they would heat up a rock using fire and then rapidly cool it with water in order to make it crack. This would make it a lot easier to get gold out of very stubborn rock. They also dug shafts in the hillsides, pursuing the gold veins deep underground. And evidence of these tunnels and Roman pick marks still survive to this day. But removing the rock was only half the battle. The rock would have to be crushed, often using things like stone mortars or trip hammers, which were possibly water-powered, and then the gold would have to be separated using things like sluices or washing tables. Interestingly, there is a very famous stone with multiple hollows called the Carrig Pumsaint, which was likely used as an anvil for crushing ore. There's even evidence that the Romans were using water wheels in order to remove water from flooded shafts, a kind of technology that they were already using in their mines in Spain. So this wasn't some primitive scavenging, this was large-scale resource extraction, Roman style. So who actually worked the mine? Well, we don't know for certain, but we can make an educated guess based on mines elsewhere in the empire. Now normally they would be worked by slaves and low-status individuals under military supervision. Now the soldiers at the nearby fort would offer them security, but the soldiers were probably not just there for that, they were probably there also to guard the gold. Now archaeological evidence indicates that the fort was occupied between 78 and 125 AD, but the mining operation continued well into the 3rd century, even after the military presence had been reduced. Now the thing is, we don't actually know just how much gold the Romans managed to get from Dolaucothi. But the thing is, with the sheer amount of engineering, the sheer amount of effort that the Romans put in, it indicates to us that they didn't just see this as some sort of casual venture. They saw it as something with real worth and value. Today, Dolaucothi is managed by the National Trust and is open to visitors. You can go and do a guided tour that includes part of the Roman mines, and I very much think you should go and do so, if for no other reason than the fact that these are the only example of Roman gold mining in Britain, a place where incredible infrastructure met a military presence. A place that reminds us that Roman Britain wasn't all about roads or villas or visiting emperors. But thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, it helps immensely, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao for now.